Other news.
Now, Channel 11 News starts with severe weather Team 11 coverage.
From temperatures below zero to another round of rain.
And take a look behind us. All of that will be returning for your morning commute, and it could create an icy mess.
Let's get right over to Pittsburgh's chief meteorologist, Stephen Cropper. Stephen, road crews could have a hard time treating the streets.
We're looking at the risk for freezing rain tomorrow morning, so when you think of the atmosphere or the weather, you think of a cake, really, because the highest level will be warm enough for rain, but the lowest level, where we are, will include temperatures near or below freezing. The current number now at 30 degrees, and while it's warming up overnight tonight, it's going to be a slow climb for those road temperatures. In fact, look at these overnight low temperature forecasts. 28-degree temperature in Pittsburgh, all areas below freezing. The complications come tomorrow morning when you start to layer on that rain over the cold temperatures, and that is going to set up the risk for some freezing rain. As you mentioned, rain will be here for your morning commute, and right now I'm updating the road temperature forecast so I can help pinpoint those areas where I see the freezing rain most likely. I'll be back in just a couple of minutes and show you that map.
Severe Weather Team 11 is staying on top of breaking news out of southern Allegheny County.
A broken main has thousands of people under a boil water advisory tonight. Water buffaloes are being set up between McKeesport and Portview. That's where Channel 11's Gabriella DeLuca joins us live tonight. Gabriella, what have you learned over the last 60 minutes?
Marlisa, well, in addition to water buffaloes, we also had jugs of water here. In fact, you can see there are so many empty boxes here. When we were first here about 2 hours ago, these were all full. Not much left here, maybe a couple jugs or so. So if you are headed to this location across from the fire hall, you might want to bring one of your own jugs and fill it up here in the water buffalo, because not many people have utilized this here. Now, one woman we just spoke to said her water has been brown and murky all day long. She came up here to grab a couple jugs. Now, that's how all of Portview is. There was a boil order for all of the borough and parts of McKeesport, too. There are 2 stations in town where people can pick up the water, the one right here like I showed you. The Public Works Director told me this line break is very difficult to fix because it's actually down a cliff, and crews have to hand carry all of their materials down the hill.
The water is actually on, but it's brown. It's a boil alert. So we have drinking water here for them. And of course, no one's really complained. You know, it's more or less an irritant, I guess.
Now, again, if you are headed to this location, we just want to reiterate to make sure you bring one of your own big jugs and use the water buffalo here, because supplies are running low when it comes to the water jugs that they had here. As far as when this is all going to be repaired, officials say it could be tomorrow morning. We're going to be checking in with them throughout the evening, and we'll have updates all night long on Channel 11. Reporting live in Portview, Gabriella DeLuca, Channel 11 News.
Left door or right door? It's a simple decision, but it's one that cost the city of Pittsburgh $80,000. The SWAT team had a warrant to search the home on the right, but officers raided the one on the left, where a woman and several children were sleeping. And today that family settled a lawsuit with the city. Only Target 11 investigator Rick Earl talked with that family's attorney, and he joins us live now with the exclusive details tonight. Rick?
Yeah, Gordon, they're relieved that this is finally over. This has been a 5-year legal battle, and tonight the city has agreed to settle this federal lawsuit for $80,000.
It is absolutely terrifying, and these kids have been traumatized by this.
Attorney Maggie Coleman talking about her client Tabitha Workmeister. 5 years ago, a Pittsburgh police SWAT team raided her home in Brighton Heights. She described it in a 2015 interview.
And all of a sudden I hear boom, 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 boom. The police open up.
Police busted down her door, startling Workmeister, her fiancé, and 5 young children. Problem is, police got the wrong apartment. They were supposed to hit the door on the right side to the first floor. Instead, they took the door on the left to the second floor.
There were numerous opportunities for the officers that planned this SWAT raid to confirm which door was the right door. The officer who got the warrant, who knew which door was the right door, was actually there. They talked to him before they raided the house, but nobody ever bothered to ask him whether or not the door on the left was actually the door to the apartment, and he knew that it wasn't.
Workmeister filed a federal lawsuit against the city, and they agreed to settle it for $80,000. Money Coleman says will go to Workmeister's children.
I think the main thing that Tabitha wanted out of this lawsuit was to let everybody know what had happened to her. It was so terrifying for her, and she has been so affected by this that she doesn't want to see this happen to other people.
And today, Pittsburgh City Council introduced a resolution authorizing payment in this case. A final vote is expected on that next week. And a spokesman for the city today declined to comment on this settlement. That is the very latest reporting live downtown tonight. Rick Earl, Channel 11 News.
New video at 6 of a local mother charged with using a teenage girl to buy drugs. That mom was already on probation after her young son shot and killed his brother. Channel 11's Courtney Brennan joins us live now. And Courtney, the judge had some stern words for this mother.
That's right, Gordon. The judge gave a really emotional and personal speech before he made his ruling today. He called this mother, Kaylee Potter, a lost soul and said that this case really affected him. Did you want to tell us about the incident with that teenage girl? No. Kaylee Potter is just a few months into a 10-year probation for a gun violence incident with her sons. Today, she learns she'll stand trial again on another child endangerment charge, this time involving a 13-year-old girl she had just met.
The fact that my niece was out with this woman that she doesn't even know, and she's taken her to buy drugs. The
young victim's aunt spoke to us after the hearing but didn't show her face. Potter is accused of driving the 13-year-old to Baldwin at 4 in the morning on December 22nd to buy pot. She had just met the girl that day. When officers stopped Potter's car, they say she gave several different stories about what they were doing. At the time, Potter was already taking parenting classes and under strict probation after her 10-year-old son accidentally shot and killed his 6-year-old brother using Potter's loaded gun when she left them home alone in 2016. The judge brought up that incident today and said he thought losing a son would change Potter, but obviously it hasn't. And I was in the courtroom when the judge was talking about Potter's son, and when he did that, she started to cry. Tonight, she is back here at the Allegheny County Jail. Reporting live this evening, I'm Courtney Brennan for Channel 11 News.
Longer days, shorter weeks. It's a plan one local school district is considering.
Yeah, no, don't agree with that. I mean, who wants to work over 8 hours a day?
New at 6, why the district says it may be its best option.
A local lawmaker looking to legalize marijuana, how he's trying to change minds in the Pittsburgh area.
Plus, for the first time since the grand jury report, a woman's filed suit against the Diocese of Pittsburgh. The disturbing acts of abuse her attorney says she endured.
Channel 11 News and NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
We're a team you can count on to cover stories that impact your life, whether it's across the street or around the world.
Channel 11 News at 6.
And NBC Nightly News at 6:30.
The Ford Escape is the car you want when you want an SUV. But also the SUV you want when you want a car.
Right now, lease a 2018 Escape for $209 a month for 36 months. Visit a neighborhood Ford store dealer near you to learn more.
The end of day. That's the relief you'll feel from the body comforting orthopedic. Relief from middleman markups and a hard day's work. That's the original Mattress Factory. Thoughtfully made, honestly priced.
Being a disabled veteran and to have a tooth pain on top of severe PTSD will take you down in the dump. After several denials, when I went to Aspen Dental, they gave me a free exam, free x-rays. The doctor comes in and he's like, you are in pain, so we're going to get you taken care of. I had no insurance.
At Aspen Dental, we're all about yes. Like yes to flexible hours and payment options. Yes to 30% off dental services. And yes, we'll take care of you no matter what. Call 1-800-ASPEN-DENTAL today.
Tonight, what the student at the center of the Lincoln Memorial protest controversy tells our Savannah Guthrie in an exclusive interview. Also, could there be a do-over after that blown no call in Sunday's Saints-Rams game? What the rule book says when we see you tonight.
Here's tonight's primetime lineup on WPXI TV, brought to you by the law offices of Edgar Snyder and Associates.
Breaking tonight, the Diocese of Pittsburgh's Victim Compensation Fund is now in effect. Dioceses across the state announced its creation last month. It allows victims of priest sex abuse to receive monetary compensation. None of the money comes directly from the Diocese of Pittsburgh. This as we learn new details about a series of lawsuits filed against the diocese. Today, I obtained what's believed to be the first lawsuit to be filed by a woman in the wake of the grand jury report. The lawsuit claims Father Paul Pendle of St. Genevieve in Canonsburg abused the victim when she was 15 or 16 years old. I spoke with that woman's attorney today about that lawsuit and two others. In a lawsuit against the Catholic Diocese of Pittsburgh, Bishop David Zubik and Cardinal Donald Wuerl, a woman known only as Jane Doe is alleging diocese leaders knew about allegations that Father Paul Pendle sexually abused young men and women.
I think this is the first filing since the grand jury report that involves a female victim.
According to the complaint, when she was a teenager, she got pregnant and decided to marry the child's father. She was told to get counseling from Father Pendle at St. Genevieve Church in Canonsburg. The complaint describes her time alone with Father Pendle, saying he wanted her to describe how she became pregnant and asked her to tell him about specific sex acts. She says he even put her hand on him and, quote, requested for her to show him how she became pregnant.
The priest in this instance held himself out as someone who was going to help her and counsel her through this, and it turned out that he instead victimized her in the most horrible of ways.
Along with this suit, attorney George Contos has filed two others this month. In one, Martin Natsiatka is also suing the Pittsburgh Diocese for knowledge of sexual abuse of Father Thomas O'Donnell, who has worked all across the Pittsburgh area since 1960.
These actions have taken away childhoods from hundreds and hundreds of victims, and hopefully this is a step in the right direction in terms of getting them justice.
Tracking rain moving in the morning, but it may be cold enough to fall as freezing rain. I have new updates to show you when it will arrive.
New at 6, students in one local school district could soon go to class just 4 days a week. What the district says it stands to gain from a shorter week.